Hello.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, can definitely hear you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. So, welcome back. Honestly, that last episode, at this point, I'm thinking that they paid Tiffany because she was working way too hard, like way too
Hmm.
hard for. She
Mm,
was rocking all these things. And to be honest, I feel like apart from the other cast, Tiffany has been bringing it this season. She has been causing so much controversy and she has actually been moving the storyline along. So,
hmm
without going to the episode, can you tell me what you felt about the episode?
I liked it. For the first time in a while, I feel like I finally sort of was okay with the episode. I actually appreciated Tiffany. I would say that I feel like without Tiffany, this season, or at least this episode, would have just been a drag, in my opinion, because nothing would have happened. So, yeah, they definitely need a check for Tiffany, an extra
Yeah,
check for Tiffany this season. I would say that.
definitely agree with that. Definitely agree.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely agree. Um, I did like this episode better than the rest of them, although there were a couple parts that I kind of tuned out of because I was just like, oh, like the whole Stormi, Kimmi, and Tisha lunch thing.
Mm.
But like for the most part, yeah, I feel like
It was
Tiffany is
actually
helping them with their
enjoyable.
storyline. Tiffany's she is bringing the heat. She's kind of, putting their foot to the flame and
Yes.
having them answer some questions that need to be, answered. Like, hey, what do you feel about this? So I listen here. Kudos to Tiffany. Although some stuff I do feel like she be overstepping, but I'm checking for her. I got her.
Yeah, so let's start the episode. This scene, I'm going to be honest, it seemed like productions just called people that, oh, come up here, let's shoot this scene because, in my opinion, it was very relevant. The ladies came over to Melody's house to speak about the tea party. And what I found funny, the reason why I found that it was very unnecessary was that Tiffany and Kiki made up, yeah. And then throughout the episode, they were no longer okay. So I just did not understand because this happened in the span of 2 days. And it just showed that either one person is fake or this was just produced.
Right. Yeah, that was, I didn't understand that a little bit. I thought it was good at first, like, hey, okay, at least Mel is trying to get to the root of the problem because Kiki and Tiffany did have, some words at the end of last episode. So for her to try to bring them together, I was for it. But then as it went on and it just seemed like, it was so much shade thrown towards Kiki and Tiffany to kind of cause that rift. And at the end, it just exploded. It was like, what was the point? And y'all sitting down. What was the point in even saying that y'all could be friends or cordial if y'all knew if the conversation came back up,
I'm
y'all would
telling you,
still
we
have a
shed
problem?
tears on
Yeah.
everything. I was like,
Yeah. I think for me, I was thinking like, so when I watched the scene, I was like, okay, they actually seemed like they were able to sort of keep the peace. Although it did feel like Mel was like, girl, you better fix it.
Mel
That
was
was
just eating.
that was the impression I was getting. It was like, mm-hmm. But I feel like looking at both of them, Tiffany is unbothered. Tiffany actually doesn't care. She
Mm-hmm.
This is one thing I like about her. It's like she knows she wants to play the villain this season and she doesn't care about people's opinions.
At
Because even
all.
when she sat with Kiki, she seemed so unbothered about whether or not they would be cool or not. She just did not care. And I completely appreciated that. However, looking at Kiki's face even then, I knew she was being fake. I knew it wasn't gonna last for long. I knew it was very much just like, oh, let's just try and like put a band-aid on it, we'll revisit it later. I definitely got that impression, so I was not surprised that later on it kind of flipped. And also, I don't know if you guys picked up on Tiffany's facial expressions when
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Oh,
Yeah,
she was like, oh, come on.
it's like,
right.
This is
we
fake.
already squashed this, why are we suddenly, and I think at that point I'll probably talk a little bit more about why I think that's happening. But yeah, just in terms of this scene, I actually felt like it was a nice scene. I love the fact that she also brought Nell into it. And
Mm-hmm.
sure, like maybe we'll get some digital exclusive clips about what Nell had to say about the tea party or or something, because I'm sure she had some opinions.
Yeah, I would
I know.
definitely want to know her opinion on how Betty came for her because now nobody know who Betty was. And the way she just came off when Nell was asking a question to Melody about the energy, like, yeah, I would definitely want to hear how Nell felt about how that all went. And maybe her and Betty sit. I don't want to see Betty, so never mind. Don't sit down with her. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Just answer the questions, of how you felt and then move on. That's it.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is why production isn't doing that, because this is something so basic. Like, what was the whole point of them having a sit down if you're not going to show us what her views were about the whole situation? I personally think
Mhm.
they're just trying to cover up for Betty because they know there would be some backlash and they don't want us to focus on Betty. That's all I think.
And do you know that Keke came out trying to clarify that whole at least I know my dad thing. I knew that productions played their hand on that thing because that thing came out unprovoked. Apparently, Tiffany asked her about her father. She was like, "Oh, but if it was your dad, I would have done the same." And that was why she came out with, "Oh, well, at least I know who my dad is." And
Yeah.
productions cut
At
out that
least
question.
she didn't even say at
Um,
least. She just said, I know who my father is. So I knew,
yeah,
even then when I did the commentary, I said there must have been, it did not seem like it was a dig. It seemed like it was in response to the fact that I guess she didn't call or to follow up with Tiffany. Like, oh, I know who
Right.
that is. I'm not
Right. I don't have to follow up with you. I know who my father is. You're the one who's looking. I don't feel like it was too much of like a dig, although it could have came off like that. And
mm,
okay, I'll take that back. Somewhat I do feel like Keke was shading. She was okay, look, she was shading, all
she
right.
was
She
that.
was
Let's not
shading.
question there.
I was gonna try to, sugarcoat it, but I can't even do it. The Scorpio in me was like, girl, stop. So
yeah.
So no, Kimmy was shading. But you know what I'm saying? She was letting it be known though, like, hey, I know who my father is. You reach out to me. You're the one looking, not me. So I completely get that. And I don't really like the fact that Tiffany kind of downplayed how she knew Keke or how much
To be
she
honest,
really
I
knew her.
don't know why she's lying. To be honest, what does she gain?
Right.
I really
Like
don't
what is
understand
the
why she
point in
has to
that?
deny.
Especially if Kiki helped you, in your journey or with your journey, trying to help you find your father. You knew that your kids were on the same team. She's been around, what I'm saying, supporting your husband's business. If her son's on his team, evidently that means your husband's coaching. So you know who this is. And Kiki said, you've met my mom-in-law, you've met, my husband, my kids. So yeah, I don't know why Tiffany's lying when it comes to that. And there's a lot of stuff that I do feel like she is lying and hiding about because transparency is not her name. It's nowhere close to it. They both start with a T, but honey, you are not transparent. So I don't know. Tiffany, she's bringing, out stuff in people, but it's gonna come out with her too. So she better be ready for it.
Mhm. So now let's move on to Stormi, Tisha, Tiffany. God, I've never seen a gathering of, as Courtney said in Villas of Atlanta, get to. Because who complains about tea? Who complains about etiquette teaching? Who
A
calls it
ghetto
etiquette
ratchet
teaching
hood
Mary
rat.
Poppins, Pompous? I'm confused. She also had a tea party last season. So what the hell was Pompous about that? Is it because it was Mel that did it? Girl, if you have an issue with this
Mhm.
lady, go face her.
Oh,
Because when she was asked, she said, "Oh, we're good, we're good." But then you're here bashing a tea party that was for the, but even the other ladies are taking it well. So I don't understand
Right.
why you, our so-called friend, has so much feelings about this.
Because you're a hood rat, gutter swamp, snake, alligator looking, just cum bucket. I don't know what else to call her. Like, girl, you. How do you say? I don't need to learn how to be a lady, bitch. Y'all been a lady since I came out the womb. No, that right there just shows you're a hood rat.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
You listen. You are a snake of all snakes. Like, girl, you are less. The last thing that is close to you is a lady. You might have lady parts, honey, but that don't make you a lady. Like, no. And I really feel I agree with you. It was because Mel threw it. If it was somebody else, I feel like her attitude would be different about it.
100%, 100%. I think she has an issue with Mel. Like, she doesn't want to come out and say what the issue is because it's trivial. Um, and it's something like, it's almost like, oh, you have an issue with someone, but you can't place it. You just don't like them because you feel some type of way about them. That's it. But she can't come out and say that because people will drag her. So
Hmm.
every time this lady does something nice for y'all, like, you didn't have to go to the tea party if you thought it was pompous and bougie and all that. You should have stayed home with your ratchet,
Right.
your ratchet self. Like, you really should have stayed home.
Especially
So
if Mel hadn't reached out to you, why would you come?
exactly. So instead, you even brought a plus one. You brought the ghetto into the event, and then now you're upset.
I think she's upset because Melody did not give her a mom the time of the day. They expected
Hmm.
Melody to fight, they expected Melody to go down to their level and probably exchange words. That's why Betty was not really happy
Mm,
when Melody did not respond. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry about that. You know, it's quite painful when you're looking for a fight or you're trying to annoy somebody or get at somebody, and the person is like, well, I'm sorry. It's because they were looking for a fight, they wanted that fight, and Mel did not give it to them.
yep.
It's
Right.
I'm not going to lie. When I am arguing with somebody and someone takes the high road, you feel bad because
Mhm.
you've automatically lost.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because you look stupid basically at this point.
Right.
You look like the angry person, and this lady is just like, "I'm sorry." Like,
Hmm.
now it's like, wait, you're good. That's it. Like, you're not even gonna respond.
Right.
You're not going
She
to
tried to
change
make it.
me.
I feel like they came exactly with that intention. They came. Stormi has been feeding Betty false information and stuff for her not to like Mel. That's the real reason why Betty doesn't like Mel. It has nothing to do with Mel has done to Betty, what Mel has said about Stormi. It has nothing to do with the way that she maneuvers. If it does, it's just the simple fact that Mel maneuvers in a way better than what your daughter ever could. And like I said, you need to be mad at your daughter because she's allowing you to walk around with ramen noodles in your head. Like, that's what you need to be mad about. Not the fact that, whatever Mel is doing, that's Mel. She's her own woman. You be your own woman. So I feel like Stormy fed Betty false information. They came with the intent to start stuff and make that tea party ratchet. Because, you got to have drama because in reality TV, they feel like if you don't have drama, you don't have a show. So that was the ghetto, ness that they needed to add to it. But like you said, Mel didn't give them the energy. She didn't give them back what they was giving her, and that right there shut them down. So now they're gonna have another problem with Mel. It's about to be something else that they don't
Yes.
like when it comes to Mel.
Now this comment said at this point, Stormy may also be feeding Tisha more Melody secrets. And Talented girls like, what secret does Mel have? The thing is, it may not necessarily be like terrible secrets. They may be
Hmm.
telling, she may be telling her, or probably, definitely they are business friends. And Mel would have probably told her what she wants to do in the future. And Stormy will obviously be feeding Tisha because now it's quite obvious that they do not see eye to eye
Yeah.
because the shady, sneaking comments she has been making this episode, and then she wonders why Mel actually like stayed away from her. Even
Yeah.
Kimmi was confused because she probably pretended that she loved the party, probably thanked Mel about how she loved the party. That was Kiki was like, "What's going on?" As that's a Kiki Kimmi
Hmm.
Mm.
because the fakeness is thinking,
Yeah, and
girl, get
Right.
some class.
I appreciated Kimmy actually saying, "No, it was a lovely thing. I love this."
Hmm.
And I'm like, yes, validate that because it was looking like you guys wanted to kiki and talk smack about this woman's event, which was so beautiful. This is the first event where it was like, yes, there was drama, but it didn't go that low.
Right. And Mel didn't allow it to go that low. And
Do
this
it.
is my opinion. I don't feel like Stormi's feeding Tisha no secrets because Stormi don't have no secrets on Mel. It would be the other way around. Tisha would be the one trying to feed secrets to Stormi and whoever else is going to listen because I feel like her and Marsau pillow talk and Marsau and Martell pillow talk and all anything that is known is coming from Martell and Martell is feeding it to the Scotts. So
Yep.
I don't think it would be Stormi saying anything because Stormi don't know enough. Because her and Mel, they're not friends, never have been friends. They were associates. They knew of each other. Mel was trying to bring out black excellence and try to showcase that as, her being a black woman, but that backfired because Stormi is not the type of person that you can actually help out like that without there being drama or
Yeah.
messiness involved because
And the
she is
way
not
she was
ready for those
really
type of blessings.
cussing, the way she was cussing this episode, I'm like, nah, you really
It's not
lack
cute.
vocabulary because the way you cannot go a sentence without cussing, this is how you're going to talk. Like when you go for administrative meetings, you're going to be cussing.
Mhm.
Also, I just wonder, like,
Right.
dealing with your kids, is this how you curse?
Wonder-
Hey, is
Right.
this how you curse around your kids?
It absolutely made no excuse. She lacks vocabularies and she needs to just accept it. Because for you to speak, there was no person she did not speak with that she did not curse. And I noticed it. It's probably because I've not been noticing it. But after that tea party where she was like, oh, I cuss a lot because that's how I am. I started noticing that every single time she spoke, she had to say a cuss word.
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
And it's like, why? You definitely lack the vocabulary because, like, yeah, cursing all the time, that's a problem.
You lack vocabulary and the way to communicate as a woman or a lady. Because, honey, that rotten ass womb that you came out of definitely was not lady pond dish.
And that was why I think this tea party triggered her because the lady was like, oh, you can speak without cursing. And when
Hmm.
Carol told her that she was rude, she did not like that. She did
Hmm.
not like that tea party because she was immensely called out. I'm
Yep.
sorry, my cat is crying.
Yeah, I feel like she definitely didn't like the fact that somebody was calling her out for the way that she was being. And since she is being called ghetto and ratchet, and a woman with grace and etiquette and style is telling her like, "Hey, you can be this way without being like that," she took offense as again someone calling her ghetto.
Mm.
But if that's what you are, then you're going to feel that way anytime anyone tries to help correct something that would make you better. It's not them trying to correct you as a person or you know talk about you. But if somebody tries to give you constructive criticism, I don't see you being the type of person that can take it. Stormi, she can't take it.
She can't take it. Like, she's one of those people who want yes friends. So someone who, like, oh, I'm thinking of doing this. Yes, cool. She just wants you to say yes to everything that she does. She does not want you to speak up and say you don't like something. It's automatically going to turn into a problem. Like, yeah, she's overly sensitive in a weird way. It's not cute at all. It's not meant for reality TV at all.
You know the
And I
fact that
don't
she actually became a millionaire by luck. So, as I keep saying, they ought to have gone to schools to learn how to handle business. Because for a multi-millionaire to be speaking like some ratchet ass person that is still in the hood, this is my problem I have with. I'm not trying to be shady, but I've noticed this trend, especially with black musicians, people who become like blow up from the hood. They
right.
obviously know that at this point you need to leave the hood because it makes no sense. You've elevated. Why are you still dragging yourself back to the hood?
Mm-hmm. Talking about you have to give love to where you came from. You can give love at a distance. You don't
Exactly.
have to
That's why they
be
get
where
killed
you
whenever
are.
they go back to the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no. Mm-mm.
And
And that's
also,
the whole thing. Like you said, she came up overnight and she said it by luck. And you know, what, Stormy, you don't even have to go to school. Hire someone who did.
yep.
Learn how to hire people who can actually run your business while you're away. Or while you're learning how to actually take care of the business, you hire someone that you can trust who will run it for you as you're learning. There's steps to this, and she didn't take any. And then we all know that the whole firing of her cousin was
Was
fake as
fake.
ever because he was there when the whole Black Titanic thing went down.
It was fake as hell. They
All of it
needed
was
to
fake.
lie.
And hold on, question. So if you guys had or are behind on 5,000 orders or so, how many
Why would you
employees would you
fire
have?
somebody?
Right. Why would you fire someone and why would you only have what, 4 employees, 5 employees?
When you should be getting additional staff, temporary staff, until you can take care of the backlog. It's like all hands on deck. Even my mama is gonna help me pack stuff. Because like,
Something.
I'm sorry. Like,
I
nah.
mean, if her mom was packing stuff, she won't be having issues with mail.
She'll be too busy.
Uh-uh. There are temp services. Go to the temp service and put into where you can hire these people who need, daily jobs or whatever the case is.
Doesn't want to pay. That's the
She don't have
problem
the
with
money to
millionaires.
pay.
They want to keep the money, and obviously they have a lawsuit of 1.7 million.
Right.
Her business Canvas Beauty being worth 40 million doesn't mean she has 40 million in her bank,
Yep.
obviously. So
Hmm.
having to pay 1.7 million is a lot. So obviously I'm not going to hire staff. I'm going to overwork. And that's why I was reasoning, why is it that they hired family? Why is it that they hired friends? Because they know that they can guilt trip family and friends into working extra. Definitely,
Mm.
if you hired me
Hmm.
from all these applications, you cannot tell me to work overtime. You can't tell me that I should do more than what I'm being paid
Hmm.
for and go away with that.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Yeah. So true. And that's something that she definitely does not want to do. You're right. She don't want to hire no one else. I don't think she has the funds to hire anyone else, even if she could, or wanted to. And you're right. She can't work them as she would work her family or friends and not pay them what they're supposed to. Because I don't believe she's paying them a real wage.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Well,
girl, you need to do something. And it looks like from that little personal conveyor belt you had that you was doing that in your bedroom. Like, girl, like I said, I know a closet when I see a closet. You are working in the back office of a Family Dollar, acting like it's a warehouse. No, girl, that's not.
So this comment said, why was Kimmi looking at Mel weird in the clip where she was trying to get her connection to help rebuild her business? Obviously, we're going to know that from next episode because currently we don't know. Adam Kelvin says she was definitely triggered. Like, girl knows that's how she is, so she was obviously pained. I mean, when someone that's the same issue I feel that's happening with Tiffany and Keke. The reason why two of them will definitely never see eye to eye is because two of them are triggering each other with the truth. So when someone
Hmm.
tells you that this is the truth or tells you the truth, to be honest, we do things and we hope for people not to know that.
mm-hmm.
If someone calls
Right.
me out on my actions, I'll be like, but I will be severely angry.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So the fact that they have to see each other every time means that, oh, I have to see this lady who called me out. I have to see this lady who said the truth. And that's the problem with Stormi too.
Right. And
Honestly, girl says it's just ridiculous. They want the queen bee boss lady title, but can't pull it off.
Amen.
right.
That is literally
Right.
it. That is literally it. We've seen
Just like Carlos King calling himself the king
housemates.
of reality TV.
Mm.
No, he's the king of messiness. Now, people who want to act like, oh, you can't blame Carlos King for this, that, and the third. If he's producing the show, that means he's allowing this ratchet shit to happen. And just like Bell Collective, this whole nonsense with this male abuse shit, what is going on, Carlos? Because that is you. That's what you
That
have to do with.
triggered me.
But that's for something else. But back to Keke and Tisha, I feel, and I've said this, and y'all can go back and actually watch. Keke, one, Tisha always talks about somebody trying to ruin her marriage. But yet, I kind of ruined my marriage. No, girl, don't nobody want to ruin your marriage, okay? But yet you're always throwing somebody else's marriage into the mix whenever it comes to something that you don't like, or if somebody says something about you. They can say something about the way that you was speaking at an engagement, and then you will throw in somebody's marriage.
I'm
But
telling you.
if y'all remember when Show Enough Wanda had that baked potato little dinner thing, that had everybody at the hospital afterwards. If,
Allegedly.
if y'all remember when she had that,
Yeah.
Keke and Tisha was talking, and this is when they was into it because Keke felt like or Tisha felt like Keke was coming for a marriage, and Keke was about to say something
Mm.
about Marsau, and Marsau got so mad, and
Shut
he said,
up
"Say it,
so quick.
do it." He was
I
like, "I will
was
flip
so
this table
upset.
over. I will shut all this shit down." I
Yep.
said, "Ooh, Keke knows
I was,
something.
She sure does.
Keke knows something." And I actually did a video where Marsau and Latisha went live, and he made a joke and said, "Yeah, you know, something about him having a baby with Tisha's cousin." And Tisha goes, "That's not funny. Why would you say that?" I said, "What?" Like out of the blue. Didn't nobody ask him or say it? There was nothing involved. Matter of fact, they were talking about how Keke and her family members look alike.
they all
Mm.
look
And
alike. It's so
and
weird.
he had the nerve to say something about him having a baby with one of Tisha's cousins. I said, "What the fuck did that have to do with anything that was just said? Why would you say that and then say you were joking?"
Yeah.
Nah,
I
there's a
think he
lot going on, and Tisha knows.
I think he just likes trolling us. But also, I think that there are a lot of things going on in the background. And it's almost like, oh, but I said so if it ever comes out in the future, but I did say to you guys I have a child with Tisha's cousin. You know what I mean? It's almost like saying
Right.
and be like, oh, it's a joke. So if you catch it, then oh, it's a joke. But if you don't catch it, it's like, oh, but I've told you this before. Why are we acting like it's brand new? It's news when
Hmm.
so yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
Keke
So,
definitely knows a lot.
serious.
And
But I think now they paid her good money, so she's like, "Ooh, let me just move away from that storyline."
right.
Now let's move on to Mattel
it does not look like Martell.
magazine. I'm
It,
telling you,
it looks like a
how
white.
this
Have you
thing
guys
came, it
have
looked
you
like
guys
a
ever saw
cartoon.
Captain
It was
Marvel?
so brushed.
Yes.
You seen Captain
So
Marvel? Okay. Do you guys remember the green alien in Captain Marvel?
yeah,
That's what Martell looks like. I got a side by side picture of them too. If you could pull that up, I swear. I said, damn,
I want
okay.
I want to see the side by side picture.
send it to the group chat. Let me
It
try
did
to bring
not
it
look
up.
like him. Like what is his like he does not look like
And
him.
the funny
He
thing
looks like
that
a
people
wax figure.
complained initially. So you're telling
Mm.
me that this magazine could not edit the covers? Were they that cheap? I could do a better work of editing with my phone.
100%. This is like a low budget ass, raggedy ass magazine, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Also,
this
Guys,
this
I
it
tried to give
screams
up.
it screams I paid for this, or I print this off at my house. Like I print this cover off and put myself on it. Or you know how like you can edit magazine covers of yourself and just put yourself on it.
Mhm.
I feel like that's what he did. That's what this is giving
But
to
for
me.
this work so cheap.
yeah. Do you know what I picked up on as well? Do you remember the first scene, right? He was basically saying, oh, I'm grateful to Upscale Magazine for allowing me to be on the cover. Allowing sounds like you begged for it, sounds like you asked for it. It is
Hmm.
you went there to lobby for a magazine cover. That is what, because who says allowed?
Obviously,
If
they
somebody,
lobbied. They
exactly, we
lobbied
need,
because the
definitely,
magazine could not give to Fs because around this time it was also enshrouding so many drama.
right.
So this was when the custody battle was going very toxic. That he
Mm.
came called Mel a whore. said he had some things to reveal. This was around that same time. It was just like some weeks after they went to court with the emergency gag order that he came out. I was like, oh, I have the magazine. So think about it. But now let's go on to all of them came. I felt like they looked nice. I'm not gonna
Mm,
lie.
yeah.
Oh, let's look at
I wasn't
Stormi
sure
in
about Marsau's outfit,
Arionne.
though. Sorry, I just had
Why
to put that in.
why is Stormi carrying the because this was something that did not need to be discussed. This was something that did not because it made no sense. So Tisha told you that, oh, Kimmi told me that what was it? Okay, she told Tisha that she what did this girl even say again? I'm trying to
So
remember the exact word.
basically, Keke sent a text message to Tisha saying that Tiffany, as basically like Tiffany in the past, sent her something saying congratulations for her trying to go off on Tisha.
The one that Stormi told Tisha was yes, she said from her own mouth, she said Tiffany told her that, oh, she not the she she owns majority, that she feels like they did Marsau threw her out of the office and they only gave her majority so that they can get all the female
Yeah.
thing. And it's true. Like, why are we acting stupid? Women's organizations, women's small businesses, they get a lot of benefits. So let's stop pretending like what she was saying was a jab or anything.
It's
And
the
it's like, oh,
truth.
but if she was a real partner, Marsau wouldn't have thrown her out. But I feel
Exactly.
what she said legit triggered this girl.
And you know what's funny? I don't actually even think that's a dig. I think it's the reality, right? It's like, okay, you're on a reality TV show. You come to me and you're like, oh, Tisha is no longer in our office. Master kicked her out. Of course I'm gonna have thoughts. I'm going to have
Right.
opinions.
To
Like,
talk
why are we
about it,
acting like she's
talking about
talking
every
smack?
single person.
Exactly. Like, why are we acting like what she said is wrong? No, it is the reality of that. Because if I'm majority shareholder and I have controlling interest, you think anyone in their right mind will be able to kick me out of my office? Hell no. And we can also,
Especially not if I'm majority owner.
yeah,
I remember I'm the boss. I own most of it. And you're going to kick me out, not inform me. And then you said that I couldn't put my degrees and accomplishments on the wall, but you come in and you allow someone else to do it? No.
exactly. So
Your
we
man
know,
has no respect for you. And did you guys catch when her and Kimmi and were at the lunch and Stormi was bringing up what Tiffany had said about
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
the
saying.
message and everything, and she was like, I don't control my husband,
That
um
was
he
and
doesn't.
he doesn't control me. I
I'm
said,
like,
yes, so he
my
does,
girl.
he
You
does.
definitely don't control your husband. See,
but he controls you.
100%, he does. He
that's why
controls.
I was really angry because obviously Tisha was not going to confront Tiffany because she had no guts.
Hmm.
But then Tommy goes, Karen, did you see the way she was smiling, dragging Tisha like, oh my God, I'm going to cause problem here today. And then she
She
dragged
was
her
loving
into
it.
the whole conversation. I
Yep.
mean, obviously Tiffany was lying because if I liked this kind of comments, the only reason why I'm liking it is because, come on, Tiffany, mm-mm. She lied
Hmm.
here. It was so obvious she was lying. That's why her eyes were shaking.
I don't even think she
Yeah.
I don't even
I
think she remembered that she had sent it. I think Tiffany is just a messy person. I think she saw this thing and she's like, yes, work for the money, honey, and congratulations. Yes, she was being shady. But I don't even think she remembered that she did that. It's one of those things where it's like, be careful what you be liking on social media and all these things and like interact,
right.
because it could come back and bite you in the A. But yeah, no.
Yeah, because all it takes is for a situation for where somebody don't agree with what you said, and they finna
For
pull out all
someone
the
like Stormi
receipts.
to just come in looking for
Mhm.
clouds, that's all it
Yes.
takes.
Yeah. Did you
Stormy
guys
is riding whatever wave she can hop on. It didn't work with Mel,
And to
so
be
she's
honest, I
gonna
was
go
like,
to straight to the
"Oh, I'm
enemies.
coming to bring my storyline. I'm going to show you everything business, everything love and marriage, Huntsville. Girl, we've not seen anything.
Nope.
We've not
We
seen
have
anything."
not. We have not. We saw one scene with the business.
But did you notice how Keke changed the narrative?
Yes.
Yeah, Tennessee girl, Tisha is trying to change the narrative about her marriage. They were arguing about what Tiffany liked. And then she went on to, I thought you said you didn't know me, but you said I was coming for my cousin, but you also were saying shit. If you cared about Tisha, I was like, how did I get from this to this?
Keke is triggered. Keke is upset at herself for coming on the show to dog her cousin out. Okay. And I think that is what it is. So she's upset that Tiffany called her out. Like, how would you do your cousin like that? So she will forever have an issue with Tiffany because Tiffany is telling the truth, and within herself, Keke feels bad. But instead of just putting her hand up and saying, "Do you know what? I messed up. I was upset because of what the things Tisha had done to me. It won't happen again." Simple. That is it. We all make mistakes. It's not the end of the world, right? Like Tisha already did
Mm-hmm.
some crazy ish to Keke. So it's 1-1 at this point. Like it cancels each other out. But for some reason, she cannot deal with the truth of that, the backlash from that. Because I don't understand, if we had already kikied and moved on, why are you suddenly coming at Tiffany? In this part, I think Keke was 100% in the wrong. There was no
And
reason
that's
for.
what I was saying. So why did they meet in Mel's house, have a, oh, I'm sorry for what I
You know what I
said,
think?
oh, I'm this and that, and then here you are arguing.
I actually think in Kiki's twisted mind, she believes that she is riding for Tisha. I feel she feels like she's
She's
riding
two-faced.
for Tisha now. So she's trying to overcompensate, in my opinion. It's like, now it's our opportunity. Let me ride. That's exactly what it is. I feel like when she sends the text message, Tisha was really upset. So now, and Tisha probably said, "Why didn't you tell me before? Why are you just saying it now?" And then I feel like Tisha put the batteries in Kiki's back, because when she came to the event, her energy wasn't even as open as I would have thought it would be to someone that you guys have squashed things just yesterday. It
She
just
was
didn't
so
make any
quick
sense.
to go rah rah rah. Like I'm like, calm down, sis.
100%.
Yeah, and it's definitely, Kiki feeling bad for, the past and how things have been with them growing up. But I don't feel that
I don't think
she's
that.
she's so much mad at herself. I think she's mad at the situation, the fact that she has had problems with her cousins and with her cousin, and no one understands. No one's been there. And for Tiffany to come in and comment on it and to, you know what I'm saying, say how wrong she is and not really know what's going on, I feel like that's what's triggering Kiki. And it could also be that that's happened plenty of times where people kind of feel like she's the one who's wrong. Because, when people tell you that, like, you're the problem all the time, you get really defensive. You're definitely
Yeah.
going to start, trying to project things. But I don't feel like Kiki really is. It's also one of those, you're my family, so I have to stick beside you and do whatever you say because, and y'all know Tisha plays on that. We all know how Tisha is when it comes to her. If you are her family, you have to ride for her no matter what, right or wrong, whether she does something to you or not, you have to be there for her. And I
You
feel
know,
like Tisha's playing on
You
that.
know, I
you know
actually
what's
don't
interesting?
agree on that
Go
because
ahead.
from the way I'm seeing it, let's move back to the reunion.
Mm,
After the reunion, she started getting called out for having two faces because in the reunion, her story changed. It moved on to, oh, she did something to me, I didn't come to hurt you, and she started apologizing. And at this point, people are like, why then did you do it in the first place? It's almost
Mhm.
like she pretended to enter the show, she caused havoc, and then she thought the havoc was going to get her to the side of the viewers.
mhm.
And it did not happen. So she
Right.
came to the reunion,
Yeah.
decided to change her song, and it still did not go well. So now she's coming, then Tisha comes out and repeats what the fans have been saying to her face. No, it's different than scrolling through the internet, you're seeing someone saying it. than someone coming to your face and then telling you exactly what they've been saying on social media. Nah, she doesn't give two F's about Tisha. Probably there are some feelings that, oh, this is my cousin. Obviously, I want to stand with her. Obviously, I want to support her. But the actions that she's taking sounds and looks like a guilty person that doesn't want anybody to talk about what they did.
Mm. You know what? I can agree with that. And it also could stem from maybe the stuff that Keke really knows. So, you know, okay. All right. When you make a point, I'll let you know you made a point because listen, I can see that.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, yeah. Keke does play the fence. Keke's straddling. She's definitely straddling. She is throwing shade all around. It's not just one direction. But I still feel like Keke, I don't know, Keke, she's battling with just how things, went on with them growing up as a child and, you know, Tisha
Tisha is
going around
also
basically talking about
battling.
her drug addiction. I don't think she's
Tisha is
still really
also
over her
battling.
addiction.
I think, because to be honest, this whole thing is quite easy to be solved. All Kiki needs to say is, I'm sorry for what I did. I did it out of whatever reason she did it of. You can even lie and say, I did it out of jealousy because I wanted to be in the show. I did it out of anger because I felt you prevented me to get on from getting on the show. She could have actually done that. To be honest, I mean, it's not some elaborate thing she did. She just said what everybody felt.
And she did not
So
say enough. Like she did not say much. Like a lot of people are acting like she said
yeah,
like
because
said a lot
the
of things.
person that is actually leaving because of what happened in their childhood will actually be Tisha.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a beautiful woman like that not to be able to stand up to her husband, and her mom keeps beating it into her, saying that, oh, no matter what he asks, never leave him. And then she grew up in an environment where she has to have competitions with all the ladies around her because her mom felt that if she's not better than the women around her, she's not good.
Right.
It's Tisha.
Right.
Yeah, Tisha actually expects loyalty from Kimmi from, to be honest, because last episode we were like, oh, they expected Maurice to actually get their back.
Well, that's the thing. Tisha expects loyalty from everyone, but does not give that same loyalty. Because you're so quick to make jokes about, oh, Kimmi, maybe she's spending too much time with Mel. Maybe she da 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 da. You're quick to make all these like little backhand comments, but you're expecting loyalty. It's like, how does that work? And I'm actually quite tired of that because, in my opinion, I just think Keke needs to live in her truth of whatever it is that happened. Like you said, just come out and say, okay, this is why I don't like what you've done. I came out, I was upset, and that's it. But it almost seems like she's just trying to brush it under the rug. And the problem with that is something like that is going to happen again because it's not addressed. So it's literally going to be, it's going to continue to be a vicious cycle, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now let's move on to Tiffany. So Shereé comes in. Oh my God, the body language. This man
Looks
left this
uncomfortable.
woman scratching her head, looking around like an idiot in the midst of people she had no one she knew.
Mhm.
And he went around hugging every other person. I was like, damn. It's just
They
like your man brings you for the first time to meet the family and then he throws you there and goes to.
to go hang with the boys. Like it's just like it was like seriously, bro. Shereé, it's a no for me, sis. Like you guys can't even act. Like pretend.
Martell did not even give, he didn't give two fucks.
He did not.
He
Mattel cares.
allowed her, he didn't even pretend to act.
Yeah.
This woman was, when I saw her scratching, turning around, hugging Tisha, looking lost, I'm like, come on. And the cameraman did not fail to get all those parts because they know that this is a farce.
if anything, Tiffany helped her out because there was only one conversation, right? Because it was like, girl, you looked lost and confused. So if anything, at least she gave you some time, some one-on-one action. But nah,
but Tiffany,
I can't lie.
she was plugged in and she was asking the questions that needed to be asked.
Yes, she needs to host the reunions. In my opinion, she needs to host the reunion.
Yes.
Because she will ask all the questions we want to know.
Tiffany came through in pure Tiffany fashion. Oh,
host the reunion.
People were really, for the first time, a messiness was needed because obviously Tisha was not going to ask. Kimmi definitely does not want to put herself in drama. Tiffany was the best person. And she's like, but she asked very valid question. Let's look at the question she asked. First, she said, do you think Martell still loves Mel? Have you met Mel? And then she's like, oh, I met her when she came for my book signing. Girl, that's like almost 7 years ago. Basically, you've not met her at this point. Then, because if you are, you know what, I'm going to give my opinion later. Then she asked, how do you feel about dating a man that has a history of cheating?
Right.
Those are 3 valid questions. And that was why it triggered Shereé. And she was like, well, I do watch your show and you cheated. Martell probably told her that because in their own show, she says she doesn't watch the show.
Right.
So which is it?
She doesn't know, and she has no answers. Her and Martell, hold on. Did you guys see how at the beginning Martell called her his friend girl?
Yes.
He said friend. Probably someone looked at him like friend.
No, yeah, he said, you know, I have my magazine. Yeah, my friend girl. And then he comes back and says, yeah, she and I are dating. Y'all are not dating. Y'all won. No, y'all look uncomfortable with each other. Like, y'all don't touch in a fashion that's like, we're dating. When you came over and sat on the couch next to him, y'all are far apart. When you was there at the whole magazine that he paid for thing, you was looking around like you was just lost. He just walked off and left you there to fend for yourself. You was a nobody to him. So when Tiffany, I knew when Tiffany seen that, she was coming. And I was loving it. And she really asked valid questions. Like the question, okay, you meeting Mel. We know that you've been out with her kids.
And have
you spoken to her?
Martell has been saying, oh, I don't want strangers to meet my kids. But you're carrying these kids around strangers. Wow.
It's like the audacity, the cheek of that man. You're constantly bringing random people around your so-called kids. The same kids, you're like, oh, you don't want too many different babysitters. So what was Shereé doing around the kids? And why didn't you get Melody's permission first? If you were really all about co-parenting like you always like to claim.
Right, but you don't want her having them around anyone, especially not another man, including her brother.
Exactly.
So how is that right? And then, Shereé, you as a woman, and a woman who's been through divorce, twice? Once, twice? I think it was twice. But for you to have been through divorce, you are a mother. You should have enough respect to say, you know what? No, I need to meet their mom just so that they know what's going on. Now, only reason why you wouldn't do that is if you know that conversation or that relationship isn't real.
Right.
That's not a real relationship, so you're not worried about me because you're not finna stick around like that.
And you know what's funny? Martell saying he doesn't want the male people around Mel's family to be with the kids. His family is in shambles. His brother is in jail. His mom is an alcoholic. His father is non-existent. Come on.
Exactly. But you want to dictate everything Mel does.
Yeah, he's like I feel like he wants to be the only male presence that the children see, which which is not fair because you're going to be exposing them to a bunch of other women,
He
allegedly.
knows that if these kids are around better males, he will look like a sub male.
Right.
Mm,
And exactly. Their relationship does look like a business arrangement. Exactly. That's it. And
Kimmi and Maurice were the
listen,
only ones who said the truth. Did you see that
yeah,
stuff that Marsau tried to throw at Mel, saying, "Oh, well, he's divorced, he can date," and Tisha was like, "He's happy," and then was like, "Well, depends on the kind of divorce she gets." Excuse me, it is Mel that seems not to have a breathing space from this bomb ass. I really don't get what you guys are trying to say.
right.
honestly, I'm like Tiffany. Tisha has no right to say anything because she could be that in a moment. So
Did you
let's
see
just
how people are dragging
Right.
Marsau on social media? Woo!
as they
Right.
should,
They are
because he keeps
dragging
saying
him.
that
Apparently,
Shereé is a
yeah,
step up.
a clip from season one. You know how people just something just trends and
Mm,
people are tearing his ass apart. I was living for that.
Yeah. That's how it is. Look, Martell, Marsau, and Maurice, I feel like they're all the same.
yep,
But definitely, Tisha, and for her to make the comment about Keke and her marriage, talking about her living in a glass house throwing stones. Honey, baby, you were throwing boulders. Remember this.
yep.
Your
You could
house is
see
made of
the way
glass and you're throwing.
Shereé was gnashing her teeth. She was so close to throwing hands.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like Shereé was uncomfortable at the fact that people can know, like people can realize and recognize, like, this isn't real. And like, why as a woman would you want to be with somebody who does this? Why? But
Yeah.
again, that's because Shereé likes cat just like Martell likes eggplant. That's not a relationship that's going to work.
Ah, good.
Yeah,
That
nah.
No, it
I
is definitely that seems. He isn't Shereé about close to Marlene's age.
That's what I was
Mhm.
about to say.
Oh, that shade.
When Tiffany said that, I was like, oh my god, I love that mouth. Like, yes, lethal. You better come.
What did she even
What?
say? He wanted someone with experience. That's why he got someone close to his mom's age. I was like, damn,
Oh,
girl,
I'm like, that is lethal. Take
her
the
oh my
mouth.
heat.
god. Oh my gosh. I just got one of the worst visuals in my life.
I mean, they were dragging Shereé from Real House of Atlanta's groups to Love Marriage Huntsville's group because this is like the first time someone has made her confused.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Like, even Shereé looked like she did not see it coming. Like, it was like, oop, oop. Like, it was like facial expression.
Right. Because she was probably used to superficial questions. And even Kenya came at her, with some questions like, yo, we all know what this man does. Why are you with him? But she don't want to answer it or come out and truly be like, you know what, guys, he really has a vagina, and that's why I find him irresistible.
And you know what? It's starting
So
to feel some type of like I'm starting to actually like Tiffany now. And I'll tell you why. She looks so unbothered asking all these questions. She looks like
Then
she did
the
not
way
really
she put her
care.
hands on her stomach, like, yeah,
she
I'm
was
about to
resting. She
cause
It was
chaos.
She had them questions waiting and brewing. She was just like, "Oh, just wait. I know she's coming." She
yeah,
probably had cue cards that she went over, like, what I'm gonna ask this question. She probably had a whole lot of them, but she had to narrow them down for time.
yeah, like she was completely unbothered. Like I
Oh yeah.
love I also love how like when she was like, "Oh, you cheated," so it did not even phase her. She looked unbothered still. I was like,
Hmm.
Tiffany, like, yeah, major claps for you, honey, because no,
Yes, Tiffany will definitely come with. She stirs that pot, honey. She will stir it,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, this is the
sometimes
thing.
she stirs that thing real good.
Real
she really does.
Sheree thought the Huntsville cast would be starstruck and expected them to kiss our ass. Well, she did not know that Tiffany was going to be there. And what actually pissed me off was that as Sheree and Martell came, I was very angry with the fact that Maurice was like, "Oh, we Mel come." It's quite obvious that Mel never comes to Martell's events because she understands boundaries. Something you can't say the same for Martell.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Martell has no bounds. He does not listen. First off, he can't spell it.
Ooh.
So if he's seen it, he definitely wouldn't recognize it. Um, so we can't expect too much for him right now. We need to try to find whoever the creator of Thomas the Choo Choo Train was, and see if they can make a Martell edition of Boundaries.
Yep.
Just help him out. We need to take him back to Sesame Street.
Did you pick up when Shereé was like, "Oh, you better be reading, you better pass this thing, or you have to pass this thing"? I'm
Oh,
like,
please, let's not even
we
get
all
there.
Mm.
But for real, Tiffany saved this season because I'm
did.
just reasoning it. If Tiffany has not been asking all these thought-provoking questions, trying to stir the pots here and there, honestly, the season would have been
dry.
boring.
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing would have happened. Tiffany is working hard, and I hope she gets a pay rise because she is definitely carrying the season on her back.
Yeah.
Listen,
But
she
to be honest,
definitely is carrying more than that baby right now. So,
but to be honest, I think Tiffany too was a little bit gagged when they told her that you cheated too. Ooh, her face squeezed so hard.
Yeah.
She didn't expect that answer either. And I think the
mm-mm.
fact that she's pregnant, she knows that nobody's going to hit her. She knows nobody's going to come at her. So she's like, this is the perfect time to be messy. This is the perfect time to say nonsense and nobody's going to say anything. Everybody is saying is that the pregnancy is what has been saving her. But I'm like, are they going to throw hands? But guys, did you know that they showed Destiny a little bit? And remember that this was the time where Destiny fought Mel Fletcher.
Oh yeah.
What?
I did not even pick up on Destiny. I was too busy.
She was there.
She was there. They showed her by mistake where her face was just like halfway.
Okay.
Destiny was there. Because I remember that it
Oh.
was a very big drama. She legit fought Mel Fletcher. There were pictures of her dragging Mel. So I'm trying to think, is this the reason why she was fired?
What? Hold on. What? You know what? Wait a minute. Hold. Woo.
Mm-mm.
So Dusty Destiny fought Nell Fletcher and was at this upscale event.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, honey. Oh,
I'm like,
I
you have a problem. Every event, there's always something. You either have an attitude or you're throwing hands. What sort of madness is that?
wow, that is crazy. Okay, well, mm, question about Dusty Destiny. Let's speak on her. Does anybody else find it odd that her and Martell were friends in high school 14 years prior, before Mel? She was not in the picture when Mel and Martell was together like that. Then you come out of the blue when they start filming this show, and you and him are now acting like y'all are best buds.
Yep. It's yeah. And
Mm,
also Mel says she didn't know of her until recently. So that's odd. If someone is really my bestie and like I've known you since I was young, even if we don't talk as often, I would have mentioned you to my partner at some point. So the
mhm.
fact that she has no idea who you are, it's given we went to high school together, probably didn't talk for years, and then I was coming to Huntsville, and now I'm like, okay, as part of the storyline, let it be that I'm besties with you. That's what it's.
Right. That's exactly what it's giving.
Yeah.
But for her to be there and to have fought Nell, what was the point in fighting Nell? Nell is
Mel
old
must
enough
have
to be your
said
mother as
something
well.
that triggered her.
Mm.
Allegedly, I think allegedly, word on the street at the time, I think it was about. Remember how a YouTuber actually showed up to the open house?
Yes.
Yes. And so I think that was it was meant to be like, I think allegedly like just an issue because she was confronting them or something along those lines. So I don't know
Mm.
the ins and out, but allegedly I think that was what it was about, and then it escalated from there.
Does anybody know what happened to her boo?
No.
Because she
Oh,
surely was running and talking about Mel and Martell's relationship.
I remember the boo being anywhere. We can't
Look,
even
you
see the
had
boo
pictures
next
around
to the end of
Christmas
the
time
boo.
of what's his name, Mo. You and
Most
Mo had pictures, but ain't nobody seen nothing recently. No, nothing. What happened, honey?
It was a
'Cause-
storyline.
Yeah, I think she wanted to. Yeah, I think she wanted to bring him on a storyline, but maybe it just didn't work
She
out.
wanted to Shereé us. I mean, we already have Martell and Shereé enough.
Like, we can't do
right.
fake relationships, honey. One is enough.
No, no more fake relationships. That is too much. That is too much. Cause girl, no one has a storyline outside of Mel. And if Tiffany wouldn't be bringing it how she bringing it, it would be lost. This season would be a bust.
Yep.
So Tiffany,
Talk about the
go ahead
first
and tie
part
your
of
tape
last
around,
season.
right now, because you kind of saved it. You saved that this episode, so
They
we're
need to
gonna
bring
give
her
it to you.
Shereé
Is it
because
just
my
me? And
sis
but she
is
wasn't even
watching
really
that.
in the promos. Tiffany
Mm-mm.
wasn't really in the promos. Exactly. So Carla's better fix that because she's working overtime at this point.
Mm-hmm.
At least for
Go
the
ahead
next.
and it might be time for you know, I just don't see the show lasting too much longer.
We actually discussed this thing yesterday about the way they can save the show. Remove one
Hmm.
of the Scots, bring two new couples that have no relationship with Mel, that actually have storylines, just like
Right.
Bell Collective. We
Yes.
need
Bell
storylines
Collective is
that will
great.
captivate us.
Yes.
That's what we actually need.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh, Stormy, Martell need to go.
Stormy needs to
Like I said,
grow up.
Martell, Stormy, one of the Scots, which we know, like Tisha Marceau, go ahead and go. Kimmi and Maurice, we can work with y'all. But yeah, get some new couples going. We need fresh faces and people that do not know Mel, have no association with her, no affiliation, can stand on their own, is,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
like
that
that.
when the drama comes, it will not be so personal because the show is
Hmm.
getting so toxic. We need drama now that, oh, it will come between the both of them and be like, oh, let it just be a fight and everybody will go. That's what we
Yeah.
Hmm.
actually need at this
Yeah.
point
I do
because
think they
the
need to
too
take
much
Maurice.
interpersonal relationship is too much.
Yeah, I agree. I think they need to take Maurice as well because Maurice doesn't really bring much to the show, in my opinion.
Maurice brings
Um,
nothing.
he really doesn't. I was even trying
No.
to be nice, but he really brings
Yeah, I
nothing.
was just add if we're gonna leave one of the Scots, if we had to, I would choose. I mean, I guess them too, but yeah, honey, you could take both of them if you want. Take
Yeah,
them.
I was
Take them.
like, keep Kimmi as a friend. Remove Maurice and Tisha and all of them. Bring in 3 new couples.
But
Um,
it can't happen. I'm being very
it's not gonna happen.
realistic.
It's not gonna happen.
Hmm.
The only way it can happen is they remove one Scott.
They have to.
Do not bring any more Scots. Do not bring any of the extended family. Last year was a mess, and that's what actually ruined the whole show because it brought the show to the ghetto, and that's
Yeah.
Hmm.
what we want anymore. So remove
Because,
all of them. Remove one at least. Do not
yeah.
bring family members. Do not bring people that are related to the Scots, Mel, nothing. The relationship should not exist between the new casts. And
Right.
I'm telling you, it's going to be better.
It will
100%.
definitely be better. What do you guys think about, this? I don't know how true it is or if they're really going to do this, but the Love and Marriage Detroit.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel it to be better because I follow. So I just realized that I even followed some of them. Like I used to follow them, so they look like great personalities. And one thing that is beautiful is that although they run in the same circles, they are not tight knit.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah,
Because I
that's
think
good.
yeah, I think they need to cut that tight knit relationship thing out because it just causes when it's like tight knit, it's like arguments cut deeper. You know this person deep
Mhm.
down, so you know what to say to get under their you get on their nerves, get under their skin. And I think that's what made this love, like that's why Love and Marriage Huntsville isn't working out. It
Right.
starts off as a sort of like a bunch of friends, and so everyone wants to see that friendship. But because of the things that the Scots have done, it's so far extreme now that there is no coming back. You can't push and pretend to us like you guys are buddies when every chance you guys get, you're always trying to dog this girl out, Melody. So it's not good. It's not going to work out. So I
Yeah.
think they definitely need a revamp of some sort. But I don't think it's going to happen. I personally think that Carlos will just start focusing on other franchises. That's
Mhm.
what I think is going to happen. And also,
But
you
they
guys
need they
don't
need
Yeah,
Love
because
and Marriage
he's not
Huntsville
promoting
to
anything Love and Marriage
introduce the
Huntsville
new
now.
franchise.
Sorry, say that again.
They need Love and Marriage Huntsville to introduce the new franchise.
Yep, they do. They do. So I think they're
Because this
just.
new franchise is going to come while Love and Marriage Huntsville is still airing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and
I
I
feel that
think
that is true, but he's not focusing on Love and Marriage Huntsville really. He
And
is.
this is the same thing that is happening with Bravo. RHOA brought them the viewers they have now,
mm,
and they ruined the whole thing.
Mhm. And that's what's going to keep happening. Especially, I, I don't know, with what I've seen just with Bell Collective and what has been going on with Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know how much faith to really have in Carlos and whatever other ventures he has when it comes
That's
to reality
that
TV and trying to
abuse,
promote uh black excellence, because honey, you are really doing a
that
disservice, especially
abuse
to the
gets
black men
me
and the black community, because you're making these black men out to be, you know,
crazy.
you're showing a negative light to our black men instead of representing them in a way that is uplifting and showing how strong and how, virtuous we can be as a people. You are tearing us down in so many ways, and you're okay with it.
you guys, I don't watch Bell Collective, and I'm thinking of starting to watch it. Is that something that also comes across on the show?
Oh,
Oh my God! If you
Jesus.
go
Oh
the
my
first
God.
go, you have to watch it. Go watch the first
Mm-mm.
episode of this new
Terrible.
season. Cliff. When I say triggered,
Physical
trigger warning.
abuse.
Trigger warning. When I say worse than Martell when it comes to the abuse that was
What?
shown,
Oh
way
my
worse.
goodness.
Yeah.
No, no
Yeah.
way.
And I mean, they show it. They
They showed
show.
it.
Like you can tell that there is a lot of abuse that goes on behind closed doors when it comes to, and Latrice and Cliff are the one that you really, that's the one. Cliff is definitely abusive. I feel with all of my heart that he is abusing her, or she has been abused by him physically in some way. I
Mm,
know
But Lady B,
you can
tell
see the verbal, you can see
wow.
the verbal, you can see the mental, and when he grabbed her up the way that he did,
He
woo,
grabbed
I
her.
said yes,
Oh
I
my
would have
yes.
thrown my hands, honestly.
flip. I am
But
definitely going to watch it.
Lady B said something. I think the bloggers are responsible for the pop. Yes, let me tell you the history of Love and Marriage Huntsville. When Love and Marriage Huntsville started, it was not blowing at all.
Mm,
Then Funky Dineva was really, really popular at that point in time. You know, there was a point in time where you can be getting on YouTube, you get like 1 million views without even doing anything. But now YouTube is like turning to Instagram where you have to fight for views on everything.
mm,
So at that point in time, he then picked up the show and started reviewing it. It is not today that their publicity has been shit. On TV just
Mhm.
expect people to start watching shows for God knows why. And I
mm.
think that was the problem. Mel should have actually taken this show to Bravo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when he started reviewing, the show blew because people started like, oh my God, there's a show like this. It's actually interesting. Now they started getting viewers here and there. And now the bloggers are still the ones keeping it afloat because
Mm,
most times the show is not even showing any reality because Carlos is trying so hard to protect the Scots. Why are we not hearing about their why didn't you hear about the 5.5 million lawsuit with Zen Gardens? Why didn't you hear
Mhm.
about their recent lawsuit? Why didn't you hear about the problem with chocolate in a bottle? Why didn't you hear about the fact that Black is not owned by Tisha and Marsau? We really are not seeing the reality of anybody. So the
Right.
bloggers are actually keeping the show afloat. So as much as I feel like the bloggers are doing too much and sometimes personal things are entering and people are trying to enforce their feelings on some of the cast, I think without them, the show would not exist.
Yep.
Yep, it definitely would not
He's
have the
probably hitting
traction that it
Latrice.
does. Yeah.
He's probably hitting Latrice. There's nothing like he's definitely hitting her because the way Josh was speaking, he must have been hitting her in the must have been hitting her in private with the way
My
Josh
goodness.
was
Hmm.
speaking.
Yeah, because at first, like I said, when we talked about it, he seemed kind of like he was coming off a little strong at first. But if you think about it, when you are outside looking in, you only see certain things. But when you start living with someone, you start seeing all of those things because it becomes harder and harder to hide. So when he was saying the things that he was saying, I'm like, after seeing what we saw, I was like, oh my God, I understand.
Mhm.
Now I see where he was coming from. He was right. Like that. And he asked her if she was happy, and she said no.
I'm telling you, sacrificing your happiness for a man, hell
Mm.
no.
Mm, no.
Mm-mm.
So now let's go back to Love Marriage Huntsville. God, when they showed Martell studying for this exam, I'm like, you don't need to
Mm,
remind us every time. He still hasn't passed this test.
Up to this day, honey.
When he passes the test, you can show us.
After he
But now
opened
we
up
are
the
tired
book
of
and
seeing
they
him
said
studying.
action.
We're tired of seeing him studying. We didn't even see him read anything. I just saw him murmur a line, and that was it.
That's not why
Listen.
he's not passing because he ain't reading nothing. Like,
Right. He opened up a book. We don't even know what book that is. He opened up a cat in the hat book and thought that we really thought that this was going to be his exam. He opened up that book and they said action. He was like, see, there are words. And that's all he said. And they was like, ding dong. Oh, shoot. Okay, let me go get the door. No.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
nah.
Did you see the kiss?
There was
Ah,
no kiss. That was like a
she
joke.
removed her face so quick. I'm sure his lips did not touch her cheeks.
He did. It was ill. Ugh. I cringed watching that.
When he did, she just like, oh, okay, well,
They
and she walked so
like,
quickly. I'm like, you
I'm
couldn't do
telling
more over.
you, it's going to come out because they are in a, um,
They need to act better because they're not helping their
yeah,
cause.
They need to actually
yeah,
have acting classes because they're both
He
terrible.
needs to be able to
terrible.
say she's his girlfriend or partner because it's not helping. And one thing I noticed, she said, oh, your party was really nice, and she was coming from the hotel. Why couldn't she stay in his house? Because when he went to Atlanta, he stayed in her house. But from what we know, the house he stayed, his mom's house, is actually in foreclosure, allegedly.
And
Ooh.
he stayed at her place when he was there. Did
Mm-hmm.
he really? Hmm. Because um,
I love how she said open book test, like reminding all of us that it's an open book test for crying out loud. It's not a closed, like open book tests are
listen,
not that hard. You just need
he acts like he is studying to try to be a fake boyfriend too, and he's failing at that. Like he does not know how to pretend nothing. Poor child. Poor Tink Tink.
mm-mm.
Why does
I
this
That's
man
why
work
she
so hard
needs
at
to
being
waste
so?
money to stay in a hotel when he
mm-hmm.
still
If
has
this
the
is your
house.
this, but that's his friend girl. That is his friend girl. That's why he. I'm sorry, your friend girl. If that does not sound like you are not 12 years old, I
Even
don't
if it
know.
was my friend, if my friend comes to town, you're not staying in the hotel except if you
Right,
brought your partner and you decide that
right.
you want your own space. You will stay in my house. I really don't get it.
Especially if you are real friends like that. Exactly. You come into town, you can stay with me. If I come into town, I stay with you. That's an agreement that you normally make with friends. Now, you might not do that every single time,
Hey, drop the mic.
but hey, drop the mic.
They drop
But
the
you might not do that every single time. But the fact of the matter is, if y'all are supposed to be dating, oh, you definitely are going to be staying at their place. And Shereé, remember, he got BDE. As a woman, if he got BDE, baby, I need to be around
Why should
all
I
that
be in the
energy.
hotel?
Like,
I remember the interview you had with Carlos trying to talk about how their sex life. That's why I just like
that's what I
this
said.
comment
Hold on.
from
Y'all
Sahara.
know, y'all heard
Like,
what he
oh
said.
my god, the sex was I don't want to talk too much about it.
ew.
But she
Yeah,
went to the
Carlos, listen.
hotel
Carlos said, I know about their sex life because I know
with
that
every
Shereé has been on top, beside it, inside it. I said, I bet she has been all up in it because he likes his G spot tickled. But that's just my opinion and allegedly.
Hmm.
But I'll say it again. He likes eggplant and she likes cat. But
Do you actually think that the reason he's not claiming her is because he knows deep down it is likely to come out eventually that they're not together? Do you think that's what it
it's
is?
going to come out, and that will be a storyline for probably their next season of Villas of Atlanta. Because obviously, it's definitely not going to play in Love Marriage Huntsville. In Love Marriage Huntsville, what will definitely play out will be this casting stuff. They are currently filming, so that's what's going to play out.
Mhm.
But over there, the breakup will most likely be because
it's
Shireen is
already
a
playing out on social
storyline.
media.
Yeah.
It's already playing out. And we are seeing it. Look at that, how they look. Does that look like somebody that you are really into like that?
The
Nope.
way she hugged
'Cause
him is why I will hug
A
someone I don't even
stranger.
know.
It's a
You
side
know,
hug.
like
It's
if
giving
we're
side.
dating, I'm gonna kiss you face to face. If we're at the point to where we're kissing, you know what I'm saying? I'm kiss you face to face. I want to look at your face, not oh, uh,
It's the
she
way
was
you
like,
it's the way you hug
okay.
people at church.
right.
When they're like trying to hug you face up and you're like you give them the little side thing. That's what she's giving. It's giving.
Listen,
I don't
hold
think
on.
they slept
That's the
together
side
at
hug you
all.
give when you go to your adult child and you go to hug and kiss and and you turn your cheek. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's a mama hugging her son. That is Marlene without being Marlene.
Mm, mm-mm.
And I feel like that's why he's really trying to mess with her because Martell gives me that he climbs up in Marlene's bed while she drinking a 40 and smoking a pack of camels and she try to comb his scalp, try to stimulate his thoughts. I feel like that's what he wants. And he's definitely not gonna claim Shereé. He don't claim coleslaw. Only person he will ever and has claimed is Mel.
Yep.
Because if he was really messing with Shereé and it was really all like that, he would have been throwing it up in her face by now. How good of a woman
And
Shereé is, how good their relationship
Maurice
is.
and Kimmi made they made a comment that actually made sense. They're like, when Mattel was actually with
Yes.
Mel,
Mel, he would have worked the
he
room. They
would
would have done
always
it
be
together.
following her, it would always be in her space. Even now that they're divorced, he's doing it.
Hmm.
So why can't he kiss? Why can't you hug properly? Why can't you be a little bit romantic with the lady you are talking about? You guys having a good sex
And you
life.
guys are supposed to be
Right.
Come
and you
on.
guys
Hold
are
hands,
I have
Kramer.
better chemistry with my friends.
100%.
Right. Listen, I have better chemistry with my laundry than what they have. Like, I don't understand it. Listen, they really look uncomfortable. And when they sat on that couch together, they were so spaced out. Just like when they was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, when they was in that truck, they were so spaced out. Why are y'all so far apart if y'all are dating? And the sex life is so good. Like I said, if that big dick energy is how you say it is,
Maybe
honey,
She
I'm
will
all
be
up on
all
there.
over it. She will be
100%.
Listen, I'm
all
sitting on your lap
over
every
it.
time I come across. I'm sitting on your lap. If it's all like that, you're not gonna get me off of you. That right there. No, that is definitely transactional. That is business. No,
It's fake.
that is not. That's not real. That's definitely a fake storyline, and it's going to end. I feel like it's already
Even
kind of playing out on social media.
if it was fake, I can act better. I'm
Mm,
sorry.
Like it's
At
like
this
they're putting
yeah,
point,
in spaces and they're not trying it. They're not even trying to pretend. It's like if you're gonna give us this stupid ass storyline, at least pretend. We've never seen you guys even kiss. We've never seen you guys be affectionate. He looked
nothing.
like he was trying to like touch her slightly on the couch. She looked like she was cringing. She can't
not
even hide
even. Ooh.
it, and he
Mm-mm.
either.
Even Marsau and Tisha that I complained that they have terrible this thing, they do way better.
Mm.
Even I like, come on.
Listen, I have seen complete strangers act more like lovers than what they're doing. And
Yep.
remember, y'all have known each other for how many years? You were friends first, and there's all this love there and care and all this. This is not showing that. That's showing stranger, not really too much, trying to get too close because it's not what it is.
And do you know
Sheree's
what?
way
Now I think
Sheree's too
I
old for
think
Martell anyway. This is
I
definitely
think
a
this is the
storyline.
reason why he reached out to Kenya, because Kenya is really soft in the eyes. I'm not saying Shereé is not fine. Shereé is 53 compared to Kenya. If
Hmm.
he was pretending with Kenya, I bet you would actually have more connection, like more like
There will be
physical
more chemistry. It'll
touching.
be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
They'll be able to.
Definitely would be
Because
more.
the first person he reached out to is definitely the person he was actually attracted to. And the first person he felt like, oh, if I'm going to fake it, I can actually fake it. But when it didn't work, Shereé was actually desperate enough to get him or need him. And that was why
Hmm.
at this point, both of them are not comfortable because they don't like. It's like when a man you are walking on the road and a man you obviously don't like is trying to get you, just oh my god,
Like, ew, don't touch
let me just
me.
talk to the guy will let me go.
Yes.
Right. Like he just didn't want nothing to do with her at that party. And it shows that even when they're in a safe space together, just them two, it's like, okay, let's have this conversation, film this scene, and then you got to go so I can go back to pretending like I need to study for an open book test. You know, how do you study for an
See
open
this
book test?
comment.
I mean,
Someone
I
said they
guess you
need
could study
to.
for an open book test, but isn't the whole point of it being an open book test is so you don't have to study as hard?
The
But the
thing is,
thing is, he has
also,
been
all you need
studying for over years, for so many years. At this point, you don't need to study. You just need to know how fast you need to answer the questions.
do you know what he
Right.
needs?
But
He
one
needs
thing I
to
will say, since I just finished school, I do understand that once you fail an exam, the fact you keep receipting it, the worse you get, the harder it, no matter how easy that exam is, the harder it becomes for you to pass that exam.
Hmm.
100%. 100%.
But sometimes
So
it's
the more
common
he
sense.
fails, the worse it gets.
Yeah, but
It's like common sense at times because like if you drive or if you've ridden in a car enough, you start to recognize the signs, you know what they mean, you know how to different things, you start to learn it. If you've been building houses all this time without having your builder's license, when it comes to the questions of what to do and how to do it, you should kind of be able to know
Be a
or
pro.
understand it a little bit better. I would feel like there should be some common sense somewhere that would help you with this test and help you pass it as well.
the thing about open book is like I feel like open book are so easy to pass. You just need to literally put some post-it notes and then write what each thing is in the book. And then take that. That's how I passed my open book test. Literally, just
Right?
you have to know where everything is. That's all. You don't need to be assimilating and trying to memorize information. That's a waste of time. But
Right.
he didn't have enough sense. If you're doing the same thing and you keep failing, then maybe you need to try a different strategy. And he just
Maybe
isn't.
this time he needs to actually know it instead of opening the book.
Well, we know school was never
Because
it was
Mel
never
just
his
passed
thing.
the exam again. Mel just passed the exam this year. So it
Mel
must
passed all
definitely
of her
not be
tests.
that hard. because she had custody battle. She had to take care of 4 kids, and she still had multiple businesses, and she still passed the test.
Yeah,
So
but
it must definitely not be that hard.
Mattel's IQ is nothing compared to Mel's. I'm just
For an
saying.
education, what do they call it? For a teacher, come on. He needs
Listen,
to find out what's wrong with him.
Martell's IQ was about as low as his credit score right now. Like, there's some problems. This
This is my thing. Kenya would have brought that it girl energy. Kenya is pretty. Shereé is pretty, but Kenya is way closer to Martell's age. I always tell people that I cannot date someone that is like more than 5 years older and more than 2, 3 years younger than me. That's my limit. So when you start faking, oh, you're in a relationship with someone where you're like, oh, I can't date this person as old as this. No matter what you won't, it may not even be subconscious. Subconsciously, you would just be acting very uninterested.
right.
Yeah.
And there's no chemistry with Shereé. There's no real want. This was a whole Carlos mix up, mix and mingle, try to get things together for both shows so that he can try to, show Bravo that he is still, listen, I'm still helpful. I can still do things
But
as
if
he
it can get Bell Collective with interesting cast, it can definitely employ interesting people for Love Marriage Huntsville.
right. So it begs the question, why doesn't he? But then
Maybe.
again, as we've said with Bell Collective, look at Latrice and Cliff. That right there just went from one extreme to an even bigger extreme. Right. So is he really doing a good job with casting? Now the rest of them, yeah, they're like everyone carries their own storyline on Bell Collective, and it is a hell of a lot better when it comes to that compared to Love and Marriage Huntsville. But when it comes to what is being allowed,
It's what?
the whole Cliff situation, to me, that is worse, and that is already dangerous. Episode 1. This man snatched this woman up, embarrassed her in front of a crowd of people and her friends.
Called her a bitch.
Over,
Whoa. What? I need to watch that tonight. That is
yes,
insane. Nah, man, that is.
Now, let's
snatched
talk
her mic
about the
off and everything.
conversation.
Like, yeah,
Let's talk about the conversation they had in the sofa.
Mm.
Oh, Mattel, we've been talking about marriage, blending
Oh,
family. You're talking about marriage, but you've not met Mel. Come on, be fucking for real.
you're talking about marriage, but y'all can't even sit next to each other like y'all like each other. Like,
yes.
this is not, this is giving off like almost arranged marriage type thing. Like, we don't really know each other, so we're just going to jump into it and see how things play out.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I don't
don't really
understand.
get the
Y'all
impression.
don't have.
I don't get the impression that Mattel is attracted to Shereé because the thing is,
It's
I
not.
feel he's not, right? Like we've seen Mattel around women and he doesn't act like he acts around Shereé. Something is wrong. There is nothing there.
Right.
And
He's
it's
way
just
too
annoying
old.
that they're playing in our faces and
And it's,
constant, yeah.
yeah, it's
And
being
like
known that
watching
he's still messing
them,
with other women too.
yeah. I'm watching them sit down and talk and it's just like, oh, watching people like pretending to be friends. Like it's horrid.
Right. This is definitely it. There's no question about it. I can't even say it's just questionable. Y'all are doing a terrible job at trying to make us believe that y'all are really dating. You
And the
can't,
fact is
Martell,
that
you can't even really come out and say, yes, this is, we are dating, we're having fun, we're doing this, that. No,
my
she's your friend,
visitor, the
girl.
person I'm dating, the person I'm courting, my friend, he said every other thing but that word. But
Mm-hmm.
do you guys notice that when they showed, I didn't want to put it because I feel like this child will soon grow up eventually, and I don't want to add to one of the things he would think about. but they showed all the children's portraits and then they blurred out Knox's portrait. I don't know. I just like as me, my sister and I were watching it, and we just paused at that point and we're just thinking that this child, the difference is too obvious. And obviously, my heart is out to this boy because I feel it's just an innocent child that
Yeah.
was born or that between two unfortunate people. And when he grows up, he will see the different treatment. There are two type of, oh, your parent cheated and then this child is welcomed eventually.
I
But
love
I
you.
do not see Knox being welcomed to Mel. But the kids will definitely welcome because it's their brother. But Arionne makes it hard to welcome this child.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when this child grows up, eventually, if care is not taken, resentment is going to come out because these other kids will be popular. These other kids will be like seen in the positive light, and because of his mom, he'll be seen in the negative light. We've seen this happen several times.
Yeah.
Coastal doesn't know what she's doing currently. She feels like, oh, I'm living in the moment. Martell is going to probably marry me. She's not thinking about how her actions is going to affect this boy negatively. And I was just thinking about it that it's just so sad. Because when I saw that,
Yeah.
I just paused it and I was like, damn.
And then think about this. So Tiffany asked if Shereé has met Mel. What about Arionne? Because that's his other baby mama.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one who actually saying who told us from off top before the season even started that it was a fake storyline and she's the girl, she's his woman and that it girl and all of that. So how is that going to come about? You
He
meeting
never has
Ariana?
the energy for Ari. Like Ari's situation is so terrible that he doesn't even claim her in public, doesn't call her name in public. Almost like she's a non-existent side chick that is just there for a booty call. That's the worst kind of role you can ever get in this life. You are only
Hmm.
good for booty calls. You are never good to be called out in public. He called you a peasant. Come on, girl, wake up. You have
Wake
kids.
up. At what
Right.
would you wake up? That's the problem. It's
The
like
life of
I
yesterday pissed me off because, girl,
I was hoping you would talk
oh,
about that. If we could talk about that after this, I don't know. But honey, we have to say something about that because, girl, you were saying nothing. You say nothing. And then for you to lie and act like, oh, I don't talk about, the other woman. When we do stuff like that, we don't talk about the other woman and we don't, have ill feelings towards her. The lies and deceit,
doesn't make
honey.
any
all I
sense.
can see
Like,
is lies.
girl,
Lies
Lies.
and deceit.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
you
The
were
lies.
scrolling through your receipts so fast that nobody could see anything.
Right. Those weren't receipts. Girl, you made that stuff up. Anybody can go ahead and fake some text messages. It's getting easier and easier. But girl, you showed nothing. Where was the names?
And also,
Like,
I feel like it took too long to even come to this receipt. Like, if it was the truth, like, it wouldn't have taken you, oh, should I talk about it? Like, you
right.
don't talk about stuff. You don't ask us if we
All
want to see
right.
stuff. You just say what you want to say. So why
Y'all
all of
came out quick.
a sudden about
Right.
exactly? Why all
She
of a
made
sudden
her
you really care
hair,
about?
did her makeup, and the coleslaw we know will be going rah rah rah. How dare you talk about me like this? She'll be bringing the receipt, but this time she was shaking, she was stuttering. I'm like, is this
Because
the
it's
Yeah, she
same
was shook.
Arion that can be
She was
on live
shook.
for 3 hours? And when Cassim came on that live, I'm telling you, Cassim talked about it. This girl blood Cassim from joining the live because
oh.
people were
Hmm.
telling her that I have the live. I don't know if I can play it. You know what? Let me see if I can. I'll just
If
say
you can play it,
YouTube.
please, oh, that would be nice because I need to see this footage.
Yeah. Because it's crazy. She said nothing.
Mm,
She said
Now,
mm.
nothing.
when Martell and the whole, abuse allegations came out, they was quick to go live to dispute that. But this right here is actually something that's pretty much more, it's more serious.
Yep.
Like, let
And
me
y'all have
play.
not said anything. Martell, you have posted old ass photos that don't nobody care about of you in a recycled suit and them crusty ass loafers with your feet looking like, you
Something I
know.
would say, the whole world who knows me knows it's my boopy. First off, it's either if I'm explaining exactly who my husband is or my boopy. Anywho, I do not understand what's going on. I'm just gonna, I'm at this point, I'm just gonna leave it to if we ever run into each other. And then for everybody who keeps on with the take it to court, sue her. She's not mentioning my name. She's smart enough to know. And this is the difference. When I came with my information, I'm calling it all out because I'm willing to say, absolutely, this is what happened. This is what she told me. If I had to go to court, this is exactly what she said. Blase, splee, blah, blah, blah. When I post me and her messages, it's showing our names back to back, our direct messages. When she's showing mine, it's saying Instagram user. Y'all keep talking we look alike. No, we don't. But
No, well, let me play the correct one because I think I'm playing the
And correction, y'all do look alike. Y'all look alike. I'm gonna throw that out there. Yeah, you do.
Let me play the correct one where she was actually responding straight up to her.
Carson, you're popular though. Like, get off her live. Let me stop. I'm out here with my kid, man, and I'm getting frustrated because she knows what she's doing. She has to come on and say that. He's showing nothing. Y'all see how fast when I showed y'all the message, I'm showing y'all. Okay, all right. Somebody tell me, calm down. Whew. No, it's not that I'm rattled. I'm irritated. I'm frustrated because she's acting like she's going live. Arionne can come in mines right now. She's acting like she's going live. Anybody could comment on mines right now. Anybody could tune into mines right now. Anybody. She's making it look like she's live. I just tried to go on there from my page and comment. We don't have each other blocked. But you know what it is? She has it. So she probably has me to where I can't say anything directly on her page because she know I will cut into her right now. So this is my thing here, y'all. I'm done. I know. I apologize. I'm done. I said I'm done with this. She running with her story. Oh, she knew who I was. We don't think about her. Blah, 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 blah. Go back and watch our live where it's me and her together. She's on there. But listen, Carson, you're popular. I just showed y'all and I'll show y'all again. This is the same page. This is Carson Blue. Okay, so she blocked all comments, but I'm still seeing comments coming on her page. This is the same page. This is Carson Blue. I showed y'all that when my friend, my homegirl who I messaged, we could still see all of the messages. We can still see all of the messages. It's not going to say Instagram user. This is not a new account. This is the exact same page. It's still under Carson Blue. She's trying to deflect. Tell her to answer this. Say, and then it's my thing here. Okay, let's say if this, whatever she's showing, because I kept seeing her go, she reading, hold on, let me read. See? Man, oh my Lord, I can't do this with these people because the thing is, I'm really real in real life. I'm not about to play with none of them. Arionne don't want to, oh my God, no, Car. I'm delusional. I'm this, I'm that. Answer the question. Did you or did you not? So if I was a fan, why would you tell a fan that your man, why would you ever feel comfortable to tell a fan that your boyfriend asked you to make a page to expose his ex-wife? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. People still talk how to feel Carson defending herself like y'all would. She's not addressing
Yeah, like I said, her and Arionne do look alike, but Arionne was not showing no receipts. She wasn't showing anything. She was scrolling way too fast. She just kept, putting up to the phone, putting the phone up to the screen real quick, just to show that she just had something on her phone, just to act like she had something. Girl, that was nothing. That was nothing. That was nothing at all. And for
Yeah,
neither her for
yeah,
neither her nor Martell to come out in defense of these allegations, these very, very serious allegations, it's speaking volumes. And when she comes back, hopefully she played. Did you see the live that Arionne did?
no, not fully. I watched the one that she just showed now, but the thing is, it's very obvious that what Carson is saying is the truth because they're so quick to defend themselves. They're so quick to try and push things out there. But I feel like when they know that there is receipts, they tend to take a step back and say nothing. So, for instance, I watched Melody's live the other day, and she was saying about how she had a screenshot of him threatening her regarding releasing said video.
Mm-hmm.
Already, that is receipts. So
Right.
if they come back and try to pretend like it's not the truth, guess what Melody is going to do? Show the receipts. And he
But
doesn't want to smoke.
why wouldn't you even try to come out and say, you know what, no, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. Even if Mel did come out with receipts, I would still try to defend myself in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
But the thing
But
is,
you're sitting back way too quiet, and that gives validity to what Carson is saying and the receipts that have come out. You two
yeah.
snakes, they're planning some real devious stuff. And I feel like with that whole life insurance shit, that was going to be some real criminal shit that they were planning on doing.
Hmm,
I
true.
feel like there was some harm that possibly was um aimed towards Mel
I didn't
when it
even know
came to.
I was busy speaking. I didn't even know my network had
Oh,
cut.
bless.
Oh,
Oh, no. Yeah, your network tripped off.
Sorry.
That's all right.
yeah, but Mel definitely has to watch out. And that right there, for them not to be speaking on this is disgusting to me. It Because the live Arionne did, she said nothing. And then of course that was Martell calling her. And that's why she kept, when she got on the phone, she would step back to try to show her stomach. Girl, you got a little pudge down there, as if maybe, just maybe,
Hmm.
you did just drop out a baby.
Oh, oh.
Either that or you're newly pregnant and you getting that little pudge down at the bottom and your stomach hasn't fully formed yet because sometimes you can go and be 4 or 5 months and you still not really show as much. But
Yeah.
that little bottom pudge starts coming out, and that's exactly what you're showing. Your stomach's normally flat as a board.
Mm.
You don't have no little fupa pouch, little thing, no baby. So you just either dropped off one or one's still in there baking. And we gonna get it in the summer, baby.
I can't wait to find out
Your
if
mic
this.
is muted.
Oh, yeah.
Sonny, your mic is muted. Okay, there. So you just either dropped off one or one's still in there baking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our clothes were really covered. Yeah.
I think
Okay.
So do you have
there's a
anything
lag.
to say for the live?
Which
You're
one?
echoing in the back. I think you have probably
Oh, am I still
two.
muted? Okay.
No,
And do
No,
you're
you
not
have
muted,
anything
but
for
you're.
the live?
there's like an echo and then there's a time lag. So I think it's almost like you're playing back what has already been said.
Do you have another window open?
Okay, I think it's fine now. Oh, I think
Yeah. Did she freeze out again?
yeah. Her internet is probably acting up. But yeah.
Yeah, but Arionne, I don't. I think something's definitely up with that. But for them to not come in and try to, you know, at least defend what is being said, and for them to take so long to come out with a live or even any type of, you know,
It was fake.
any type of response, even though it was bullshit, because Arionne didn't say nothing about it really. Oh, the tape. I'm not gonna talk about that because no, I'm not talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's what you need to talk about.
That's what we care about. We don't care
Talk
about
about that. We don't care about nothing else. That you lying, talk about you're not pressed about the main woman of the man you're cheating with.
So, guys, we've been here for almost 2 hours. Do you have any closing words so we can end the live?
No, we just gonna stay tuned and see what's going on. I'm waiting to see if Arionne comes back out or Martell comes out to try to defend what's going on. I highly doubt it.
Martell is not
And
saying.
no, he's not. He's not gonna say a thing. It's definitely not. Yeah, I gotta.
Yeah.
I think my only closing remark is Martell and Shereé need to stop playing in our faces. That's all I care about. They need to stop. But yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys tomorrow.
Definitely, we'll see you ladies tomorrow, and we're gonna see what happens with Real Housewives of Atlanta and Martell.
Yeah, and I'm definitely watching Bell Collective tonight because I need to see what is going on there.
All right.
Yeah, trigger warning. Seriously.
So see you guys later. Bye.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.